Hi everybody, I'm here to report on last night's 1-1 draw with Motherwell at Fir Park. And to say it was a disappointing result is an understatement. But on the other hand, I think most Rangers fans like me realised this was going to be a really tough game, and if it worked out slightly differently and still had been a draw, we might not have been so disappointed. In the end, it was the ending of the game that sickened us all. Uh, we might have been a bit more worried when we saw the team the manager had picked, because it was the wrong team. Everybody knows that it was the wrong team. Rule uh, shows it's just the same as most Rangers managers. All the talk of one game at a time, etc. Every game's a must win. All this kind of nonsense goes by the by when you think ahead. And he was obviously thinking ahead to the Hearts game on Sunday when he picked that team because he was saving some players, obviously, for the Hearts game. And it's no good looking ahead to another game when you can't win the one in front of you. If you win the one in front of you, the next one takes care of itself. He's thrown away 2 points, so the Hearts game is even less important, I suppose, because even a win doesn't take his equal with them now, thanks to last night's draw. When you think about it, he obviously thinks this team that he picked was good enough to win the game, and we all know it isn't, because it was mainly the same players that let us down way back at the beginning of the season. So what else could we expect but what actually happened? When I think about it, the back four, Tavernier, Suter, Giga and Magoma. And I bet you 99% of Rangers fans would say the only one of that back four who should normally play would be Suter. So there's three guys in your defence that shouldn't be starting a really tough game away like that one last night. It should have been Sterling, Suter, Fernandez and Romans. And Romans didn't even play any of the game. You know, everybody's raving about him after a game and a bit, and he didn't even get on as a sub last night. So that sums it up. Not only was the starting 11 wrong, the subs weren't the right ones either. So anyhow, wrong team, didn't play well, down to the manager and the players who didn't play well, obviously. Jack Butland had 3 or 4 good saves, so he's exonerated. I would say Giga was the best of the defenders, and that was about it. Nobody else played well. So that's how bad it was. I'll give Raskin pass marks maybe because he did score a good goal and he did save a goal with a header on the goal line. So I'll give him pass marks even if only for these 2 contributions. But the rest of them just very poor. When you think about it, the game started well. Scored in 6 minutes. Great move. Diamandi deep in his own half. Must have run about, 50 yards into their half. Lovely pass between 2 defenders for Raskin, who made a great run to run onto it and then just slip it past the goalkeeper. So you're 1-0 up after 6 minutes. What could go wrong? Well, with this Rangers team, you never know, but you don't think everything's going to be plain sailing, that's for sure. And then the rest of that half, it was all Motherwell. I mean, they played better than us on the whole. The stats show they had 60-odd% possession, more shots at goal, more shots on target. Never mind the stats. Your eye told you they played better than us the whole game practically. They deserved at least a draw. They probably deserved to win, actually, if it wasn't for, as I say, the 3-4 good saves from Butland. We hardly had a shot on target. I think it was like 4 shots on target, that kind of thing. So after the goal, they took over, they dominated the play, they made the chances. We looked passive as if we thought, this is going to be good enough. 1-0, that's fine. Just let's keep it like that. No, we can never keep it like that, no matter who we're playing against. So very disappointing from that point of view. In the first half, I think we had 2 moments where we should have come away with something. One where Chermiti sort of hassled a couple of defenders and it bounced off one of them right onto him. Only the goal to beat, and he shoots right at the goalkeeper from about 8 yards out. Right at the goalkeeper, proper striker, puts that away. When the rebound came back to him, he had another go and he hit that one off the defender. I'll give the defender his due for getting his body in the way of it. And then I think it was after that, a ball coming down, Chermiti's there. There's a defender behind him, a defender sort of to the front and side of him, defender behind him just bundles into the back of him, bundles him over. The other guy crashes into him as well. Stonewall penalty. Not even a VAR check. I mean, that's how bad the referee was in VAR. Not even a VAR check for that one. So that should have been a penalty. So that would have been 2-0. Maybe that would have changed the game. But with this team, I'm not positive. Anyway, second half, first, 20 minutes, we were definitely better. The manager must have said something. We were definitely better. Not great, but better than we had been the first half. And then gradually, Motherwell took over and it became the first half again with them doing all the attacking and pressing. Motherwell, good team. They get stuck in. They're big, they're physical, they're fast. They can pass it to each other. They can pass it forward. Much better than us. We can't claim that they didn't deserve their equaliser when it came. The only thing was it came in the 88th minute when they were down to 12 men and they deserved to be 12 men. I was thinking of the referee there. They were down to 10 men and that was a red card all day long, and yet wonderful referee Stephen McLean only gave him a yellow. So it took VAR to intervene to say, go and look at that, mate. That's a red card all day long. And he duly did and changed it to a red card. And by the way, while we're on the referee McLean, he must have spent the whole of the week on the internet looking at the Celtic trolls, telling everybody what a Rangers fan he is. And how his big brother played for Rangers reserves 30 odd years ago. So that makes him a Rangers fan. He's so biased. Booked 5 Rangers players and 2 Motherwell players. He was giving them fouls for the least bit of contact. Wasn't giving us fouls for the same thing. Anytime we did a foul in the card, in the book, yellow card, he booked Magoma for taking too long at a throw-in. He booked Miovski for, he's only on 30 seconds, and he got booked apparently for kicking the ball away. We didn't see it on the TV, but apparently that's what happened. He practically pushed Gassama off the park because he was taking too long when he was substituted, doing everything he could to help Motherwell. So listen, mate, Celtic fans still think you're a Rangers fan, so doing all that is not going to change anything. You're absolutely hopeless. Shameful performance, actually, some of the decisions they made. There was one where Suter was striding out of our own box with the ball, and the guy pulls him back, gives us a foul, but not the obligatory yellow card. When it went from there, it went up the wing. Raskin fouls the guy, if he even did. It was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, out in the touchline. Not only does he give a foul in the book, so within 30 seconds, the Motherwell guy doesn't get booked, but the Rangers guy gets booked for a Commoner Garden foul, if it was even a foul. So that sums up the referee. Still, he's not to blame for us dropping 2 points. We are. That game last night was always going to be a harder game than the Hearts game at Ibrox on Sunday. So why the manager thought he'd play that team and try to get a result and save the better players for Sunday, who knows? Surely that will teach him a lesson. We don't have the players that can play that sort of game and save the better ones for another game when who knows what might happen. So that was his fault. The equaliser, when it came, a big diagonal ball, about a 40-yarder, right just outside the 6-yard box. The big guy, I think he's Swedish or something, he nodded it into the 6-yard box, and there was whoever scored, that, I can't remember. It was Welsh, a failed Celtic player, the dud Celtic player, defender, and he's there to hit it into the net, 2 yards off Suter, who should have been closer, who should have been able to block it. So what a terrible goal to lose a couple of minutes from the end, but that summed us up, I suppose. For the folk who've been saying, Tavernier hat-trick last game, we've got to sign him again for another year. No, that was him back to the normal Tavernier who's done. He was done 2-3 years ago, so don't give me that we've got to keep him on. Just before we scored the opening goal, actually, Butland had to bring off a great save because a move coming from right into the centre, went to the left, and there's 2 guys unmarked because Tavernier's looking at the guy in the middle who's already been marked by Suter, and there's 2 guys behind him, one of which shoots and the ball saves. So that could have been a goal. Thanks again to Tavernier not having a clue who's behind him at the back post. So this guy should not play, not start in vital games this season, or we'll just do what we did last night and throw away points. So let's hope that's put to bed, that he's getting a new contract. Just get rid of him at the end of the season. Hopefully Saturday or Sunday it is, we'll see us play the new players like Olsen Romans, big Nadiri at the start. And let's beat Hearts, because we really have to beat them. And we're only now having to beat them to be 2 points behind them. So that's how bad last night's result was. So anyhow, let's hope we can do it, because if we can't, we really are finished.